Hi everyone and welcome to the Burns Redo. This week we are reviewing Final Destination. This is the first film in the franchise, which is now 5 films long. The latest one has just come out, which I reviewed on my channel. The link will be down below. And this is really a film that did reinvigorate the horror slasher genre back in the early 2000s. It basically follows the plot of a group of teenagers going on a French trip on a plane from the east coast of America. One of them, called Alex, happens to have a premonition that the plane's going to explode mid-flight. He then gets all his friends off the plane, which then proceeds to explode, and after that, death comes and kills each of the characters one by one because they shouldn't have escaped their fate on the plane. I'm assuming that most people watching this video will have already seen this film. If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. So what I really like about this film is the fact that it's a slasher film without a slasher. There is no character to speak of which is killing the characters. There's no antagonist. There's no physical presence. It's death, and death conspires to kill the characters by setting up these elaborate mousetrap style situations that will ultimately lead to each character's death. And I really like this aspect of it. I think it's quite brave for the studio to let James Wong, who wrote and directed this film, to let him make a film where they have no face of the killer to market this movie. The death scenes in this film are really tense and well directed. They are full of red herrings. You can't always guess how a character's going to die, and they are very interesting to watch, and they're made more interesting by the fact that the characters are mourned when they die. You know, they hold funerals for the characters. Their deaths affect their friends who also survived this plane catastrophe, and it feels like the actions and deaths of the characters actually have some weight in the universe in which this movie is set. Another interesting thing about this film is seeing famous actors before they were famous. It features people like Ali Larter and Sean William Scott before they were both relatively big names. And it also features Tony Todd, who we all know and love as Candyman, playing who some people would argue is Death himself. Whereas in this film series, is in parts 1, 2 and 5, and I believe he does a voice in part 3. He basically plays a coroner who is cleaning up after death, and like I say, the argument is that he could be Death himself. The opening plane crash sequence is probably one of the best plane crashes ever committed to film. It is horrifically violent. They are borderline exploitative, the Final Destination movies. They are very gruesome. They're known for their gory effects, but in this film, it's made a little bit more effective by the fact you actually care about the characters, and I think the plane crash at the beginning is very well done. The downfalls of this movie are, like I've mentioned, they do make you care about the characters, they do build tension, etc, etc, but they don't do it to the extent that I would like. But having said that, what can you expect from a B horror movie? You know, it's not meant to be anything more than a trashy throwaway horror movie, and I think in that regard it completely succeeds, but I would have preferred them to take a little bit more time and build a little bit more character between the gory deaths. Overall, I really like Final Destination. I like the franchise. I like the first 3. I thought number 4 was one of the worst films I've ever seen, and I really enjoyed part 5. Like I said, the review's down there if you want to go and watch that. I like this series. I think it's one of the most consistent. Notice I didn't say good, not in terms of quality, but I think it's one of the most consistent franchises of the noughties, and basically that means that you know what you're going to get when you watch a Final Destination film, and they do tend to live up to expectations. So in that regard, I really enjoy the franchise. I really enjoyed the first film. It was very creative, very inventive when it first came out. People forget that this came out post Scream 3, when that had just been slated by critics, and people say, oh, the slasher film's going to die a death again. Along comes Final Destination and reinvigorates it yet again for the noughties. It spawned a franchise. People seem obliged to hate it because it spawned a franchise, but I really do like it, and I think it is a very successful B horror movie and would highly recommend it.